Hello everybody, my name is Khatleesi, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. If you're new to the series, I do have a playlist dedicated to this series over on my channel, as well as several more at the moment, including Stardew Valley and Bendy and the Ink Machine. More series are to come, so if you do enjoy the content, your like and subscription are greatly appreciated. Now, let's get back into the game. There we go. That loaded in quick. Alright, so here we are. What? He really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he? Ugh. Very well. The court invites the witnesses to testify again. You will thoroughly explain the reasoning behind prosecution's allegation. Is that clear? As clear as Kiriko glass, Your Excellency. Yes, sir. At once, sir. Awaiting signal to testify, sir. Excuse me, but there's something or someone peeking out over your shoulder, I think. Affirmative. The newest member of the Nosa family to rise up through the ranks, sir. Name, Ido. It would seem those straps are a sign of the sergeant being too strapped to afford a nanny. Ido, Teen Shun. Your father is about to quell the enemy. Watch and learn, my boy. Ew. That's not. The true culprit. Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing. Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man he was, that young lad in black. That much I myself did see. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself. Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Over and out. That's not true, you're both there as well. These testimonies are certainly interesting. Wait, that's nonsense. The victim, Dr. Wilson, wasn't alone at all. Please, enough of these outbursts already. But there was a woman. There was a young woman at his table. You must have seen her. Everyone there must have seen her. Objection! If you call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. We are not here to listen to your fantasies. Ugh. It is evident beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the time of the incident. The prosecution has photographic evidence of this fact. In this photograph of the scene of the crime, is this a photograph of the scene of the crime, counsel? Indeed, of a table at which the victim was dining, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident. As can plainly be seen, there is only one place set. Certainly, based on the appearance of this print, it would be reasonable to conclude that the victim was not in the company of anyone else. Ugh, this doesn't make any sense. The court will add this new photographic evidence to the record. The photographic print of the crime scene has been entered into the court record. I don't understand. What's going on here? It's just not possible that nobody else saw that woman. The waiter before us did the same thing. He maintains that Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well. But that's not true. I saw her. I swear that I saw a woman with him. I think he just met up with that woman. That's why she didn't eat. That's why she didn't come in with him. He came in alone, and she came in at a later point to speak with him. She killed him, and she left. She didn't dine. That's why there's no dineware on the table. No plate, no fork, no knife. She didn't eat. She just came to speak to him, killed him, and left. That's What I think anyway. That's how I see it. It would seem that we'll be able to telegraph the report to Great Britain on time after all. The witness testimonies we have just heard leave no further room for doubt. These are very sensitive political times, as we all know. The ink is still fresh on treaty with Great Britain. To think that I, Takatsuchi Ochi, will have contributed to the amity of these two great empires is an honor. How can this be happening? The judge is ready to rule. Stand tall, Ryunosuke. It's not over yet. No, it is not. What? If what you say is true, then there's something going on here behind the scenes. And now's your chance to expose it, to draw out the truth in your cross-examination. I don't know, Kazuma. The defense is entitled to cross-examine the witnesses, but make it quick, understood? Rules can be so unbending at times. Ugh. Cross-examination. Okay. The true culprit. Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing. Yes, point his gun at the foreign man he was, that young lad in black. That much I myself did see. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. Indeed, alone he was the Englishman, dining all by himself. Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Over and out. Okay, that's not where I go. History? No. What do you think, Ryunosuke? Okay, court record, now it's showing up. Oh. What's the matter? I can't find anything. I can't find a clear discrepancy anywhere. I'm done for. I can't win this trial. No! Listen, the first thing to do is calm down. You can't expect witness statements to be full of holes every time. So just take your time and try to tease more information out of them first. What do you mean? You can choose to either press or present against each of the witness statements. And if a witness is saying something you're suspicious about, press him on it with L. With a little luck, you may get more details, which could prove to be crucial. Right, I see. The important point is, there's no sense in holding back. If anything even slightly jars with you, press the witness on it and press them hard. Alright, got it. I'll press them like blocks of tofu. The professor wasn't alone in the restaurant. I'm sure of it. And one way or another, this cross-examination is going to prove I'm right. It's time to press them for all their worth. My fate depends on it. Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing. Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man he was, that young lad in black. That much I myself did see. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. Indeed, alone he was the Englishman, dining all by himself. Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Over and out. So let's cycle through again. What do you think, Ryunosuke? Okay, we're going through this again. I'm just gonna go through this again. I'm not gonna read it. That's annoying that I have to go through this dialogue every time. I want to press them. Come on. I thought it would cycle through the dialogue as it did earlier when I was trying to find evidence against what they were saying. Because it just kept cycling through what they were saying instead of, you know, going back to Ryunosuke and his friend. Alright, it's time to press them for all that they're worth. I'm going to press him right now. Yes, it may be true that I was holding a gun at that point in time. But I've told you already, that's only because I picked it up off the floor. Well, obviously, as the culprit, that's the only way you could explain it away. I had just finished drinking my coffee, and I was about to leave the restaurant when I noticed a gun on the floor at Dr. Wilson's feet. I picked it up, and at exactly that moment, bang, a gunshot rang in my ears. Full of events beyond our control, life is. Sorry, what do you mean? In your case, you found a pistol on the floor and picked it up, which precipitated this testing predicament. Whereas, conversely, I failed to pick up the Coleman from the floor and find myself in an equally testing predicament as a result. Anyway, the fact remains, myself, I did see you. With pistol in hand, standing over the foreigner. Furthermore, a visual search of premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. Press. Just press everything. I lose nothing from pressing them right now. I thought I would lose one of my little 4 lives at the top there, but no, I'm okay. You must have noticed someone else at Dr. Wilson's table. There was a lady there. As you have been at pains to point out time and again, I feel I'm growing a callus in my ear. And yet, no one else appears to have caught even a glimpse of this woman. Ugh. If only there'd been more people dining there at the time, then someone else would have noticed her. Unfortunately, it was already past 2 p.m. when it happened. The quiet time between lunch and dinner in any restaurant. I know. Of course, the place is almost empty. It's what you'd expect. Certainly, 2 p.m. is neither here nor there in terms of a time to eat. I wonder if there was a reason why the victim was eating at that time of day, and why he was alone. Yes, Your Excellency, there was indeed a reason. There was. This was found in the victim's jacket pocket. What is that, Counsel? It is a medical report card, Your Excellency. It would seem that the victim had an appointment at a clinic prior to visiting the restaurant. Hota Clinic. Yes, there would indeed appear to be an entry for date in question. 19th of November, noon to past 1 p.m. The very day of the incident. So the victim went for a late lunch following his appointment. The explanation wouldn't be more simple. The prosecution felt no need to submit this evidence for, as it really has no bearing to the case. I wonder, what do you think, Ryunosuke? Well, it is hard to see how it could be related, really. Remember, you can request for it to be entered into the court record as evidence if you think it could be useful. Should I ask for Dr. Wilson's medical report card to be submitted as evidence or not? Ask for it to be submitted, of course. We'll take whatever evidence we can get. If I may, I'd like to ask for that medical report card to be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency. On what grounds? The court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence would be extraneous. Not to mention that the victim's movements prior to his arrival at the restaurant are of no concern. Objection! Whether or not they are of concern is up to us to decide. We have a right to explore all possible avenues. I beg your pardon? You have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for the submission of evidence. Very well. The court will grant the defense's request. Youngsters these days are forever asserting their rights. It's the most disturbing trend. Officer, kindly add the victim's medical report card to the court record. The victim's medical report card has been entered into the court record. What we need right now is new clues. We have to explore things from every possible angle, even if they don't seem relevant at first. Right, I hear you. You can conspire to prolong this trial as much as you like, but it's the day after a festival already for you. Or perhaps you'd forgotten. that these witness testimonies leave no room for doubt. Feel free to reiterate for the accused, Korakuta-san. Indeed, alone he was the Englishman dining all by himself. Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could dispatch the Englishman. Over now, let's just press him. Why aren't you telling the truth? What? What did you say, cadet? I clearly remember. There was a woman sitting across the table from the professor. Perhaps one of you might not have noticed. But for both of you to have failed to see a professor's dining companion, it's just not possible. Imagine that the woman was somehow related to the army guy, to the officer, and that's why he's lying about not seeing her. And maybe that guy next to him who's trying to sell him his artifacts, he's either clueless or he's in on it too. They're not speaking. Unfortunately for you, Defendant Naruhodo, it's not just a case of these two witnesses alone. Sorry? The waiter, whose testimony the court heard earlier, clearly stated the same thing. He also said that the victim was alone. That's right. Precisely. In other words, you are the sole proponent of this phantom lady. But if such a woman were indeed present at the scene, prosecution demands to see proof. I want to see the court record, and if no such proof exists. Okay, I don't want the magnifying glass there. So I don't see much happening right here, to be honest. A medical report card from Hota Clinic that was found in the victim's pocket. And I can't click on it, unfortunately. And no such proof exists. The prosecution demands that no further mention of this phantom woman be made. It is a blatant waste of the court's time. There's nothing I can say to that. Kazuma, help me out. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. We've released some new information now. Well, yes, but I don't feel like it changes much. I can't see what that brings, that brings any real discrepancies to light. I wouldn't be so sure. Let me see that medical report card you got before. Oh, you mean this? Yes, this is a brand new piece of evidence. So perhaps we should examine it a little more in detail. That's what I'm trying to do. How exactly? You'll notice that some pieces of evidence bear a magnifying glass. These are the ones you may examine. Press A and you can take a closer look at the piece in question. Okay. To rotate the evidence in all directions and examine it from all angles. By using the other control stick, you can move the magnifying glass, I guess. You can move the crosshairs around to hunt for clues that may have been missed before. If the crosshair starts to pulsate, press A to investigate further. Okay. Easy enough. So partner, I think you should take a closer look at this medical report card. See if there isn't something new to be learned by examining it in more detail. Alright, I'll see what I can do. Yeah, I need to use these and A to inspect any areas of the evidence that look suspicious. It looks like this medical report card was first issued quite some time ago. It's probably a record of long-term treatment, that's why, with a family doctor, I imagine. Well, I can't imagine going to a doctor, I mean, as long as I'm alive, I'm never consulting one. Well, if you were dead, there'd be no point. So you don't like doctors then? Why would you? They make you drink horrible tasting medicine. They give you painful injections. And then they demand lots of money from you for the privilege. All when you're at your lowest ebb. You sound like a model patient. With a bad case of stubbornness, no less. For which the only cure is very bitter medicine indeed. Okay, what about this? You can peel it here, right? It opens up. So all of this I can click. Let's have a look. This is some kind of medical history. Ah, and there's an entry for the day the professor was killed. Extraction of molar with topical anesthesia. You mean he had a tooth taken out? It would seem so. Just for the incident, he'd had a bad tooth removed. Perhaps they use laughing gas. That's the most modern practice in the West for pain relief. Yes, I've heard of this anesthesia. Although it's hard to believe there's anything that can actually stop you feeling pain. Ah, there's a cautionary note from the doctor practitioner as well. Strictly no food or drink besides water for 3 hours post-procedure until anesthetic effects have passed. Really? Sounds like information worth bearing in mind. The medical report card's information has been updated in court record. Dental treatment has been prohibited from eating or drinking anything but water. With this new information, the meaning of that one particular statement totally changes. So, I think it's time we listen to this testimony again, don't you? Definitely. Perfect. Even if what I saw wasn't the precise movement of the firearm, that doesn't matter. Yes, pointing his gun, that doesn't matter. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. Indeed, alone he was an Englishman dining all by himself. Yes! Let me press on that. So you actually saw that with your own eyes, did you? The victim, Dr. Wilson, dining alone. That I did. Forgive me for the position I placed you in. So the testimonies of the old man, the soldier, and the waiter all agree on that point. Isn't that interesting? And let us not forget the incontestable evidence we have to support their statements as well. As can clearly be seen, there is only a single beefsteak on the victim's table, a meal for one. No. The antiques dealer, the sergeant, and the waiter who testified before. It's not possible that they're all lying. But if so, then why? If I'm perfectly honest, I have absolutely no idea. That's it, oh my goodness. Therefore, no one other than the black uniform cadet could have dispatched Englishmen over and out. I really don't see what I'm supposed to press them for. Well done, Ryunosuke. We have even more to go on now. So we're going through this again. No discrepancies have come to light, and that's what we need. Oh, I think the situation has changed a great deal. We've come a long way. Oh, this is new dialogue. How so? Because we have just what we need. Is it? Simply a case of using it to our advantage now. Then, do you mean there is a discrepancy somewhere? The crucial point is, the victim had been prohibited from consuming anything but water when he was shot. That fact has not yet been brought to the court's attention. He's right. Thinking about Dr. Wilson's circumstances at the time of the incident puts that particular statement in a totally different light. Which statement? Always keep your eye on the progress of the battle. That's the only sure way to win. Even if what I saw wasn't a personalized moment, firearm was discharged. It's almost the same thing. Okay, I can present evidence. Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man, he was that young lion black. That much I myself did see. Furthermore, a visual search of premises, blah blah blah. Next statement. This one. Just as I was trying to pick up earlier, I was supposed to present the evidence of the medical report card. Oh, whoops. I want to present it. Whoa! I meant to present this. Extraction of molar, you mean he had a tooth taken out. Yeah, so he couldn't eat or drink. Which is why I want to present this report. It only makes sense to present it. Oh, they speak so much. Yeah, cautionary note. Strictly no food or drinks. Really? Sounds like information worth bearing in mind. Yep. Yep. Let's listen to the testimony again. Let's do it. Okay. Back. Present. That's what I meant to do. I love that he raises his hand every time. Well, I think, about what are you wittering, lad? Call yourself a lawyer. I wish I could. But first and foremost here, I'm the accused. Ryonosuke. Everyone stumbles on their words occasionally. Under the circumstances, I wouldn't worry about it. Thanks, Kazuma. I can see it quite clearly in that cross-examination you just carried out. When you raised your hand straight up like that, so purposefully, you knew exactly what it was you wanted to say. Don't feel like you have to choose your words carefully. Just say what you're thinking. Alright, and thanks for the advice. Deep breath. Korikutsu-san, this is a medical report card belonging to the victim. Ah, I see. And I don't see. What of it, boy? Comparing what is written on this report card with your witness statement, something clearly doesn't add up. Dear me, have you forgotten my words so soon, you amateur? Sorry, what? You are not to interrupt court proceedings with your amateurish drivel. But let's see if I can explain in words you might understand. It was after 2 p.m. in the afternoon when the victim was murdered at the restaurant. Whatever he may or may not have done before that time is completely irrelevant. Grr, but that's, remember, Ryonosuke, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words. Just make your point. Your Excellency, I believe we're finished here. There's surely no need to prolong this trial for he's just trying to take away my chance. That's all he's doing. The witness testimonies the court has heard have been clear and concise. This medical report card has no bearing on the matter at all, for the simple reason that there is no one else besides this pale-faced pupil who could possibly something. This medical report card has nothing to do with the case. Do you really believe that? What? That outburst half petrified me, boy. Of course I believe it. How could it possibly be relevant? Perhaps because Hotta Clinic, which issued the report card, is a dental clinic. A dental clinic? Is that supposed to mean something to me? He's sweating. Perhaps if I told you that the victim had just had a tooth extracted. What's this now? And furthermore, if I told you that as a result, the victim had been forbidden from eating. just what are you trying to say, cadet? He had orders not to eat, so what? It's all written up in here. No food or drink other than water for 3 hours post-procedure while anesthesia wears off. What? No, that can't... Korikuta-san! What, boy? What? As you just heard... So I just want to apologize. I believe that my computer actually opened up the this app so that I can speak to my computer, and it might have messed with the volume for a couple seconds there. I hope we didn't miss anything, but I'll just keep going on. I just want to apologize for that. When he was killed, sometime shortly after 2 p.m., the victim couldn't have been eating anything at all. No. Additionally, there's more. You have assured the court with unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. But that cannot possibly be the case. Because the victim, as we now know, had just had one of his teeth extracted and was still experiencing the effects of the anesthetic. Expertly done, partner.
Objection!
What? What is this nonsense, you little upstart? These are baseless accusations. Just look at this photographic evidence. The steak could have been pushed to his side. You can clearly see that the plate of food at is at the victim's table.
Objection!
Use your head. That's the very discrepancy we're talking about. You can't you follow the logic? How dare you? I think it's fair to say that tables in this restaurant case have turned. Wouldn't you agree, Ryunosuke? Yes, most definitely. So, having just undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat. Which leaves one very crucial conundrum. Who, in fact, was eating the pictured beefsteak? The court will hear the opinion of defense on this new puzzle. I assume you're ready, counsel. Counsel? Oh, that means me, doesn't it? Alright, the answer to this question is going to be pivotal. This is the start of you turning this trial around. Show them what you're made of. Got it. So, the person eating the steak at the victim's table must have been the victim himself, me, the two witnesses, an as yet unknown third party. I don't think it's two witnesses. Obviously, it can only have been someone else who was sitting at the professor's table.
Objection!
You will not let this go, will you? There was no such person. There was, because I saw her. When the incident occurred, we know the victim couldn't have been eating anything. What really bothers me is that Ryunosuke has only been telling the truth up to this point, yet they believe these liars, and we have called them out on their lies several times already, yet they're still in favor of the court. I have an issue with that. I don't understand the logic here. When the incident occurred, we know that the victim couldn't have been eating anything. Yet, we have evidence of a half-eaten steak on his table. Steak at that, right? That's hard to eat when your teeth are hurting, when you're on anesthetics. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that there was somebody else there eating it. We have strong evidence to support our assertion. It's clear that these witnesses' testimonies are unreliable. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If the court decides to push through a ruling at this stage, we will lodge a formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice and pursue a fair retrial, relentlessly. Kazuma, are you insane? You would take on the government? Don't worry, counsel. I have no issue with you. What do you mean? I have issue with them, those two witnesses in the stand. What? What are you talking about? We have demonstrated with evidence that the victim was not alone. So, if it now turns out that the two of you deliberately lied when giving your testimonies, obviously you will be charged with perjury. Perjury. And, since this is a murder trial, you will also be deemed complicit in the killing. Complicit? In murder? No! Hold it. No, negative. There was no mention of this at tactical meeting. I was just following orders. That's right, as the man says. Just say you never saw the gentlewoman, that's what they, told us. Oh. What? Or what did you just say? Korikuta-san? Oh, no. You were just following orders? Now hold on, lad. I was, Say, you never saw the gentlewoman. When you say gentlewoman, do you mean you saw the victim with a lady from overseas? What?
Objection!
What? What is the meaning of all this? These witnesses gave false statements? Is this true, you pair? Just one simple slip of the tongue. Order! Counsel, explain what is going on here. It's painfully clear now. You tried to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth. Absolutely not. The prosecution knows nothing of this. Then who's behind this? Who tried to make you keep your mouth shut? That's classified. So you're prepared to be tried as conspirator to this murder, are you? You wouldn't... This can't be happening. I love the little kid just freaking out, pulling on his mustache. Ryonosuke, judging from the way they're reacting to this, I'd say they were sworn to silence by someone with considerable influence. However, I don't believe Achi had any idea about it. What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence, there are only a handful of possibilities. It could only have been the government, the military, or the police, I suppose. That's not true. Well, any ideas about who might be behind this? If we can affirm who tried to silence these witnesses, then we can continue our pursuit. So we need to name whoever it was that tried to make the witnesses keep their mouths shut. Of course, we'll need evidence before we make any firm accusations. Evidence that proves whoever it was really did wield his or her power here. But how? How can we possibly? Remember how we made progress before? Before, we kept pushing them to say more. We examined this piece of evidence in more detail and found a new clue as a result. Oh, yes, that's right. Well, that's not only the piece of evidence we have, is it? We need to re-examine everything and make sure there's nothing we've missed. There's no time to lose. I want answers. If it's proven that these witnesses have been manipulated, I assure you the penalty will be severe. Please, wait, Your Excellency. I had no idea about any of this. I swear to every Shinto god. I knew nothing. And what does the defense have to say about all this, Well, Your Excellency. Ugh, no time to think. I'm just going to have to close my eyes and shout out the first name that comes into my head. Oh no. Let me look at the court record. Besides the prosecution, the only person with necessary influence to manipulate the witnesses is... the head waiter of the European-style restaurant La Carnaval. He was serving there on the day of the incident. Options? No. History? No. Oh no. So there are two options that come to mind for me. It's not him, it's not Achi. I know it's not Achi. A medical school professor at the Imperial Yume University, he's an authority in forensic medicine and Kazuma's mentor. He wanted me to actually try myself, to defend myself. Because I would say it's the waiter, but I feel like the waiter was manipulated as well. So I'm going to say it's him. Present.
Yes!
There. What do you make of that? I think, counsel, that you may want to close your ears as well as your eyes. Otherwise, the size of disappointment in the courtroom may very well deafen you. Ah. If you feel you must close your eyes in a crisis, Might I suggest you keep your mouth shut next time, too? No, I'm sure of what I said. Otherwise, I may have to use the influence I have in this courtroom to shut it permanently. Really? I don't know what it is about that prosecutor exactly, but he really makes me wince in pain sometimes. I don't have a great deal of influence myself, but believe me, I can find other ways to make you keep your mouth shut as well. Alright, you don't get angry. I'll think again. There must be a clue somewhere in all that evidence in the court record. Actually, now that I think about it, there might be some pieces of evidence I haven't thoroughly examined yet. What does the defense have to say about all this? Well, Your Excellency. Oh, no time to think. Okay. Victim, time of death. Cause of death, single bullet fire at close range, fatal hemorrhage from pectoral ballistic trauma, no exit wound, bullet did not pass through your body. Ah, the symbol of the Yume University. Every student wears this pin with pride. It's funny, but most emblems seem to be either round or rectangular. I think this is by design, even though it doesn't really make any sense. Although, it does cause problems. Lots of students end up cutting their fingers on their badges. Perhaps it was the idea of one of the founders, a sharp pin for a sharp mind or something. My personal student number is engraved on the back here. If you lose your pin, they won't accept you at, say, Yume University, as a Yume student at the university. You may not come in, they say. That's a good one. That's a pretty good one. Of course, you can get a new pin made if you can just tell them your number. I've actually lost mine twice already, but I still don't know my student number by heart. I always say to myself, I mustn't forget to write it down somewhere, but then I forget not to forget that. So let's look at the number right here. Okay, no, that's the same information we're getting right now. Okay, well, let's look at the front of the pin again. See if we can find anything else. Let's look at the this middle part here. The symbol of Yume University. Every student wears this pin with pride. It's funny, but most emblems seem to be either round or rectangular. Okay, yeah, it's the same words are being said again. Photograph of the victim. That's not gonna help me out. Waiter's business card. The head waiter's business card. A sketch of the restaurant's layout is on the back. Chief Inspector. Oh! Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. Okay. So that's the waiter, right? And he's a chief at the police department. Oh, I almost clicked him. So it is him.
Yes.
Well, surely that would be Satoru Hosonaga-san. Hosonaga-san, the waiter who took the stand earlier? Why are you objecting me? Poppycock! What possible reason would the waiter have to make these witnesses give false testimony? Not to mention the fact that even a head waiter could not possibly have that level of influence. For once, I would agree with you. Well, I'm pretty silly for accusing the other guy earlier. I feel silly about it. If that is, the man truly were a waiter. What? If he truly were? Come on, Ryunosuke. Time to hit this court with the truth. Truth about Satoru Hosonaga-san's real identity, as proven by this evidence. His business card. Let's present it. Yes! I'm not sure what this is supposed to prove, Counsel. I think, Your Excellency, that what this proves is not true nature of the waiter, but the true nature of the accused. You can't be serious. Sorry? A black guard who would stoop to presenting irrelevant evidence to incriminate an innocent man. This is the true nature of this rookie. What? What the? Seriously? Try again, go over all the evidence we have one more time. There's something in there that proves who this waiter really is, I'm sure of it. Yeah, his card. Is that not what I presented?
Yes!
No! Oh no. Oh no, I want to click it. I really just want to click it. Can I click this and then go back? Well, that's unexpected. What is? Look, do you see it says the witness's name here? Satoru Hosonaga. I had to click this for presenting it. This is not fair. I'm getting 2 strikes because I didn't click it. Well, yes, business cards do tend to show the person's name. That's sort of the point. It's not a name that's unexpected. It's his job title. His job. Oh. Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. Inspector? What on earth? I have no idea, but let's face it, the police have a lot of power and influence, if they're wielding it somehow here. The waiter's business card information has been updated in the court record. Thank you. I think, Your Excellency, that this proves not true nature of the waiter, but true nature of the accused. Sorry? I'm getting a strike. I'm getting another strike. This is not fair. Try again. Go over all the evidence we have one more time. Oh, this is not fair. I got 2 strikes because I didn't click it. Well, I clicked it now. Present it one last time. The plan of the restaurant sketched by a man in question. I agree it shows a great deal of attention to detail, but I'm not sure we can conclude anything. Sorry, Your Excellency, that's the back of the card. It's the back of the card that's of interest. I beg your pardon? Or perhaps I should have said the front? Yes, it's the front of the back of the card. That's where the telling detail is. Would somebody please explain what this overexcited student is trying to say? Hosonaga-san sketched the plan of the restaurant on the reverse side of his business card. The front of that business card reveals the man in question's profession, his true profession. The waiter's profession? But that's surely... Good gracious. That's right, Your Excellency. The card reads, Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. What? The waiter is a police detective? I haven't heard any mention of this before. Why haven't I heard any mention of this before? The Imperial Police Bureau has immense power, absolute power, as far as regular civilians are concerned. So, witnesses there in the stand. Was it in fact the waiter who gave you your orders? Was it he who told you not to mention that you'd seen this foreign gentlewoman at the scene? Well... Hold it. He's coming? Yeah, here he is. Inspector Hosonaga. I was worried something like this may happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized there was a possibility. The court will take this plan and add to the court record as evidence. Oh, well... Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. Yes, I remember now. He did act strangely when the judge asked him to hand over his business card. I strive to carry out all investigations flawlessly. It's my guiding principle. But I let myself be distracted when I made that sketch. It was an unusually careless mistake. So, you mean to say, you really are a detective? But why would a detective be working as a restaurant waiter? Ah, of course, your salary must be terrible. I was working undercover. Undercover? Yes, there have been a series of incidents at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter, working undercover. Incidents at the restaurant? What kind of incidents? That would be classified police information, which I am not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to this case of homicide. Very well then, Inspector Hosonaga, but you will elaborate on one point for the court. Of course, Your Excellency. We have just heard new information from two witnesses beside you. That at the time of the shooting, there was in fact another person present at the victim's table. If that is indeed true, clearly you would also have been aware of this person's presence, having served at the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to the Star Diner. Therefore, I am led to assume that in your professional capacity as a police officer, you required these witnesses to be in agreement. Would that be correct? Correct, Your Excellency. Unbelievable. As I suspected. Bang. As soon as I heard the gunshot, I ran out of the kitchen to see what happened. The victim sat slumped in his chair, and beside him, gun in hand, stood the accused student. Sitting opposite to the victim at the same table was a young lady, who I guessed to be an Englishwoman. So the truth comes out. I immediately sealed off the restaurant and reported the incident to the Bureau. It was then that I received some special orders. Special orders? You mean to say, remove the Englishwoman from the scene at once. It was made clear that the Englishwoman's presence at the restaurant was to be concealed. Those were my orders. But what if this Englishwoman was the killer? I think it would be in everyone's best interest not to pursue that idea. The Empire views the friendly terms of its relationship with Britain more highly than anything at the moment. An Englishman has been murdered on our soil. To name an Englishwoman as primary suspect, well, without irrefutable evidence, that would be completely out of the question. So that's the reason for the disappearance of the Phantom Woman in this case. But it's not right. Everybody's at a loss for words. Well, I guess that's where we're going to leave it for today. So, all that's left to say is, thanks so much for watching. Please leave a like if you've enjoyed the episode, and subscribe if you would like to see more of my content. I wish you all a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Peace.